Before I start, my heartfelt pranams to Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji and namaste to all of you. Without making a further delay, because the time is short, I will jump into the subject right away. This is the introductory class to the Seth Wisdom. And we are not going to talk about any details of the Seth Wisdom. With this, we are going to introduce the Seth Wisdom today. In order to fully fill our physical life, I mean, fulfill our physical life, we need four things. In Hindi, they call as roti, kapda, gadi, and makan. Roti means food, kapda clothes, and gadi transport, and makan house. These are the basic four pillars of the physical life. But in order to fully fill, that means fulfill our spiritual life, we also need four things according to Patriji. What are those four things that Patriji said to fulfill our spiritual life? Number one is Buddhuni Dhyanam, Brahmana Bhojanam, Setu Vignanam, and Vosho Jivitam. Buddhuni Dhyanam means Buddha's meditation. Brahmana Bhojanam, Brahmin's meals. Set Vignanam, Set wisdom. And Vosho Jivitam, Vosho's living. These are the four pillars of basic spiritual life according to Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. These statements of Patriji shows how important is the Seth wisdom to be successful in spiritual life. So, let us explore this Seth wisdom, being the faithful followers of Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. Whenever we talk about Seth wisdom, we remember about three people. I call them as the Trinity of Seth wisdom. The three people are, number one is Seth, by whom this Seth wisdom is explained, and number two is Jane Roberts, to whom this Seth wisdom is explained, and Robert Butts, by whom this is returned. The Seth explained, Jane Roberts listened, and Robert Butts wrote this as Seth work. So when we think about this Trinity, what does this remind us of? Somebody explained, somebody listened, and somebody wrote. When we think about this, we remember our sacred book, Bhagavad Gita. So in the Bhagavad Gita also, the Trinity, three people exist. So what are those Trinity of the Bhagavad Gita? Krishna, by whom it is explained, Arjuna, to whom it is explained, and Vyasa, by whom it is returned. So, just like in the Seth wisdom, we also see the same Trinity in Bhagavad Gita also. So, I find there is a relationship between the Bhagavad Gita, which was explained by the Krishna, and also with the Seth wisdom, which was explained by Seth. But what is the difference between the Krishna and the Seth? if we try to understand, Lord Krishna is the God manifested in the human form. But what is Seth? Seth is God in unmanifested human form. Seth doesn't have a human form. Seth is a God in unmanifested human form, whereas Lord Krishna is the God manifested in human form. That is the difference between the Lord Krishna and the Seth. Lord Krishna delivered Gita in a dialogue format. Daya means both. It is called as Samvada in Sanskrit. He delivered Gita in a dialogue format. But Seth delivered Seth wisdom in channeling format. So that is the difference between Lord Krishna delivering Bhagavad Gita and Seth delivering its Seth wisdom. And what does Seth mean? Let us spend a minute or two on this subject. The Seth actual name, it is not Seth, it is Seth. That was initially, whenever if you read any English books on Seth, it is not Seth, it is called Seth. But gradually the Seth has become Seth as it come in India, into Telugu books and in Indian English books. It is called Seth. The actual name is Seth. The Seth is very, very, very close to Sat, S-A-T-H. So that means Sat is phonetically changed to Seth, and Seth later becomes Seth. Suppose, what is this phonetical change? For example, my daughter's name is Saini, but whenever in Americans call her as Saini. In the same way, the Sat was phonetically changed to the Seth. The Sat means the eternal truth. What does it mean by Sat? In our Hindu philosophy, God has a name that is called Sat-Chit-Ananda. Sat is the first name of the God, and Chit is the middle name of the God, and Ananda is the last name of the God. So here, Sat means actually the Sat says that he is the God and his first name is Sat. So it is I think I have no doubt and no hesitation to say that Sat or Seth is nothing but the God that came in unmanifested human form to deliver this Seth wisdom to the mankind. And Seth wisdom and the Bhagavad Gita. So the Seth wisdom is the wisdom delivered by God to Jane Roberts in the same way Lord Krishna delivered Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Robert Butts compiled these teachings in a book called Seth Material. In the same way, Vyasa compiled teaching of Lord Krishna in a book called Bhagavad Gita. So, in this way, we can relate Bhagavad Gita and the Seth wisdom. And also, if you go and investigate a little bit further, and whenever you read the Seth wisdom books, Seth always called God as one word that called as all that is. Whenever he talked about God, he used that three words name for the God that he says all that is. That is indirectly say the God name is that. When we go to our Vedas, we also have a Mahavakya in Vedas that's called as Tat Tvam Asi. That is, thou that you are, or thou art that. Here, that means we are calling it as God, that thou are you, or that you are. In that where we are talking about God, so you are God. That's what the Sat says about, when he says about God, you use the word that, and at the same time in Tat Tvam Asi also we use the word Tat, which is nothing but that. So indirectly the Sat and also our Vedic scriptures call the God as Tat or that. So that means you are Sat. So you are Sat and you are truth. Truth is God, so you are God. In that way, the Sat's definition for the God and our Vedic definition of God both matches. And in that way, the Sat is also very closely explaining about our Indian philosophy about the God. If you go a little bit further, whenever you read the Seth's philosophy, Seth personally described himself as a teacher. And Krishna is also called as Jagat Guru. And in his 10th chapter, he also called himself as a teacher. Again, there is a similarity here between the Seth and the Lord Krishna about their statement about their own self. Both call them themselves as teachers. And if you go a little bit further, and this is what Seth exactly told in parenthesis, this material has been given by me and others in other times and places, but that is given again in new ways for each succeeding generation through the centuries. These are the exact words from the Seth, from his Seth wisdom books. If you go to the Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, slokas 1 to 3, if you read, the Krishna told almost the same thing. I told this wisdom to Son, Son told to Manu, Manu told to Ikshvaku, now I am telling you the Arjuna again. So if you compare these two statements that was stated by the Seth and also Lord by Krishna, so they are almost making the similar statements, which make us confidently believe that those two scriptures are both came from the God. So if you understand the different yugas and the books that came, so we can follow like this. In Satya Yuga, where dharma was being followed with the 4 legs, it was called as age of truth. And because it was a Swarna Yuga or a truthful Yuga, we did not need any book. So in Treta Yuga 3, Treta Yuga, the dharma was going on in 3 legs. Then we got Ashtavakra Gita. That was Rama's time. In Dwapara Yuga, when we came to the Krishna's time, the dharma was going on in Dharma Devata was walking with 2 legs. That is called Dwapara Yuga. Dvi means 2. The Dharma Devata was walking with 2 legs. Then that was Krishna time. We got the book Bhagavad Gita. Now it is Kali Yuga. So the Dharma Devata is walking only with 1 leg, and we got the Seth wisdom to lift the mankind back again. So in this way, we can connect the Seth wisdom with Bhagavad Gita by so many ways. If we see some other relationships between Gita and the Seth wisdom, Bhagavad Gita was taught around 5,000 years ago. But the Seth wisdom was taught around 50 years ago, in around 1960s and 70s. And also, the wars are related to both the Bhagavad Gita and also Seth wisdom. Bhagavad Gita was taught around Mahabharata war. The Seth wisdom was taught around the Second World War. The post-World War II, it is called as New Age movement from 1970s and 1980s. The Seth wisdom was taught around that time. So if we go a little bit more further, there have been some research that went about the Seth Wisdom. After the death of the Jane Roberts, all the Seth material books were given to Yale's University in the United States of America, the Yale's University Library. When it became a public property, the Seth material, the literature critics started doing research on this Seth material. The initial commentary on the Seth Wisdom supports that this was regarding, it is related to the Eastern religions belief system, mainly Hinduism. That was the initial commentary that was made by the literature critics after doing research on the Seth material. This looks like Eastern religious belief systems, mainly Hinduism. After listening that commentary, the American Christian critics went through the Seth material and found out that the above statement was true. It truly supports the Eastern religious belief system, mainly Hinduism. Then they all criticized Jane Roberts for doing harm to the Christianity by promoting the other religious beliefs, herself being a Christian born in the Christian country. Then she replied to those critics, it is none of these are my personal opinions. These are all transcribed. Whatever the Seth told, I am just a listener from the Seth. So the religion is nothing to do with me. I am just a transcriber, whatever that was told by the Seth. So she denied that criticism. Then this wisdom somehow reached Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji, who studied Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, and he found out a key sentence of Mahavakya of the Seth wisdom, that is, you are the creator of your reality. Then he related this key sentence of the Seth wisdom to a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, that is Uddared Atmana, which gives the same meaning. Then he promoted the Seth wisdom in the continent of India for the first time. What makes this Seth wisdom special? It talks about contemporary day-to-day issues. This knowledge is very applicable to the current generation. If you read only Gita and don't read Seth material, you may miss some important information. But if you understand Seth wisdom and don't read Bhagavad Gita, you may not miss nothing. You may not miss nothing. So, what are the topics that are covered in the Seth wisdom? He talks about Antara Shakti, that is inner power of the human being. Then he talks about Antara Prayanam, that is called inner journey. He talks about resolutions, that is Sankalpala. It talks about belief systems. It talks about counseling. It talks about soul science. It talks about multi-dimensional soul. It talks about health. It talks about dreams and their importance. It talks about memory. It talks about nature, science, and animal world. It talks about God. It talks about creation technology. It talks about money. It talks about time. So these are all the topics that are covered in Seth wisdom, which would be very helpful for this current generation and where we are in the fast moving world. And the basic slogan of the Seth wisdom or Mahavakya of the Seth wisdom is, you create your own reality. So what does it mean and how do we apply in our daily life? According to the Seth, we have an outer world and we have the inner world. So outer world, we deal this outer world with a mind called conscious mind. And we have an inner world which is dealt by a mind called subconscious mind. So what it says is, whatever you want to become in your life, whatever you want to be in your life, whatever you want in your life, whatever resolutions that you have in your life, all those things will become true, and that will make them true, and your inner world will make all those wishes and all those resolutions that your inner world will make it true without any doubt. He gives some examples. Suppose, for example, if you want to become like Obama, like an American president, so you be, and your inner world say yes. And at the same time, if you want to become Osama bin Laden, a world-known terrorist, and if you ask your inner world say, yes, tadhastu, you will become. If you want to become a Ramana Maharshi, a spiritual leader, and then your inner world say, yes, you will. And it will make it happen. So that means whatever you ask your inner world, and your inner world will make it happen. So in other way, your inner world will say to you that your wish is my command. That's what it is. I read many books recently before I came to this Seth Wisdom. That was like a book like a magic, or there are other books like as Alchemist. There are so many Western books which they talk about life sciences. And after I came and read this Seth Wisdom, and I found out all those latest books were related to this Seth Wisdom, and they talk about this Seth Wisdom. And what the Seth says is, if you want to make a decision, if you want to make a wish, and all are based upon your belief system. So you make your wishes based upon your belief systems that you have bought with your life, and when you was born, on which you have been bringing with your upbringing, and you will have a belief system that comes with you. And based upon the belief system, you make decisions in your life. And when you make decisions in the life, and the one thing that Seth wants you is that your decision should have very, 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 very nice clarity. And with that clarity, if you have to make decisions in the outer world with the help of your conscious mind, after you make a informed decision based upon your priorities, based upon your belief system, and once you make that decision with your conscious mind, that then you will send the decision from conscious mind to the subconscious mind by means of an inner journey, and you have to send it to the subconscious mind. When it goes to the subconscious mind, all you have to do for you to get the result, that is, your job is done. And you don't have nothing more to do except making an informed decision about your life, about what you want, and make an inner journey and send it to the subconscious mind. And that's all you need to do, and you don't to do nothing. Then the subconscious mind will start to work, and it will take the help of the human brain, and it will start make things happen for you. And eventually the time comes and whatever you asked for will become reality and will become truth. And I am the form example of this Seth wisdom in my life. And whatever that I wanted to be in my life, and everything became reality, whatever I thought. And I myself and my life was a live example of that I created my own reality. And also, and I have another example, and because our example, who is one of our participants in this thing is like our Divyagar, and she just participated in a chit chat where she clearly told that how did she get a job when after she passed her examinations. She did not have a job, and she decided in an with her conscious mind that she wants a job. And after that, she felt that the job has already been there. And then she thinks herself that she is having the job. And then again, early morning, she dresses up, even though she does not have a job, and get ready as if she is going to the office. And again, morning 8 o'clock, she packs her lunch and everything, and she go to a library and sit there up to 4 o'clock there as if she is doing a job, and come back at 4 o'clock at home as if she is coming from the office to the home. Like that, she really, in her mind and consciousness, she felt that she had a job. And she herself told in the chit chat that within few months she got the job what she wanted. Because I am telling, because she already told in the chit chat, even otherwise I would not have told this here publicly. So, like this, there are so many examples we can quote from our groups. Then the Seth wisdom is a reality if we can really wish for what we need, and then if we do the send it through our inner journey to the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind will take over and it will fulfill all your wishes, whatever you need to be, and it needs to be done, that will be done by your subconscious mind. Finally, it will make your wish a reality. But here, here two things will happen. When you make a wish, the two things that says you should have very good clarity. Otherwise, that wish can ruin you, and wish can become will act in a negative way. For example, if somebody wants to become very wealthy, that is the wish, and it messes up in his conscious mind and send it to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind started working and it made it happen. That person becomes wealthy. That's all. And he asked, I want to become wealthy, and the subconscious mind listened to it and made him wealthy. But at the same time, he did not ask about anything. He asked, I want to become wealthy, so he became a wealthy person. But when you become wealthy, there are so many other problems may arise. When you become wealthy, you may get health problems. You may get the relation problems. So all these problems will automatically come even though you are wealthy. So like that, you will get another problems when you don't really do a research on what you ask, and you don't have a thorough knowledge about what you are asking. But even if you get what you want, then you may run into problems which are linked with that things that which you asked for. And somebody may ask for, I want a lot of power. So when you have a lot of power, the subconscious mind may give you a full of power. But at the same time, when you become power, when you have a power, so many other problems come with the power. You may have a lot of enemies, and you have so many other negative things that can come. happen will automatically come along with the power. So what Seth is, whenever you ask for something, do thorough research on what you are asking. You have a very clear knowledge and do an extensive research and know about that subject of about what you are asking, and then only you ask for what you really want. Otherwise, you will be in, there's a possibility that you may be in trouble. And that is the reason the Seth Wisdom, and he discussed about so many topics to give a clear knowledge to you about various things that you come across in life, so you can go and understand these topics and subjects. Then if you want to ask for any wish, you will you will take an informal decision what you really want. And that is the reason when you really want to ask what you should ask, because if you have that spiritual knowledge, the spiritual knowledge will help you what you really want to have in your life. So if you have the higher spiritual frequency, and you will have a higher spiritual goals in your life. If you have a lower spiritual frequency, you have a lower spiritual goals in your life. The quality of the life increases as a spiritual frequency increases. So that is the reason you have to have a very high spiritual knowledge when you ask and when you make a wish, and that wish will become reality in the due course by your conscious mind or by your soul. And that's the reason, and I clearly implemented what that the very interesting thing is, when I implemented these things in my life, I did not know about this Seth wisdom. And I implemented my things in my life, and I created my own reality. And after I made my own reality, then I came to know about the Seth wisdom recently. Then I looked back into my life, and this is exactly Seth wisdom worked in my life. And I have 3 more minutes, so I will tell you what exactly happened in my life, what I am talking, that I created my own reality. And when I was about 17 years old, I wanted to become a doctor. And at the time, and I asked, and I made my decision, and I sent it to my conscious, made the decision in the conscious mind, and sent that to the subconscious mind, and asked for it. I want to become a doctor. And it went into my subconscious mind, so you be. But I went and wrote my medical examination at that time, and after which I could not write my medical entrance examination anymore because of my age limit, and I did not get the medical seat at that time when I was 20 years old. And then I thought, oh, this is all trash, so there is no way that I can become a doctor anymore because I could not even write an entrance examination because of my age was born. And I waited for 40 years like that. And at the 40 years of age, and a thought came into my mind. And after making some money, then I went back to India, and I got an opportunity to join a medical school when I was 40 years old, and I became a full-fledged doctor by the time I was 50. So this clearly proved that I made my own reality. And that's what the Seth also says. Whenever you ask for something, don't put any conditions to your soul or your conscious mind. Once you make a wish and send it to the subconscious mind, leave it alone. Let your subconscious mind take its own time and to make your dream or to make your wish a reality. And he also tells one more shocking point. When you ask for something, and even your inner consciousness, your soul will not let you die till whatever you wish, made a wish, that till that wish becomes true, even you will not, it will not let you die. So the Seth will tells you with that much confidence that you will make your own reality, provided if you follow the principles of the Seth wisdom. So from the next week onwards, we are going to talk about the different topics on Seth wisdom, and in the middle, we will be talking about how to make this our create our own reality. We also will talk about in the middle, and this is the just an introductory part of the Seth wisdom, and I try to touch the basic points about the Seth wisdom, about different things, and also I touched about the main Mahavakya of the Seth wisdom: you create your own reality.